swipe, text, ghost, repeat. I don't know when dating started to feel more like a job interview than a connection. Swipe left, swipe right, text, but never actually meet or form a real connection. It's like we're all playing this game we didn't actually agree to, with rules that change daily. It has started to feel like men and women weren't even speaking the same language anymore. Men are either villains or man-children. Women are either boss babes or snakes. And maybe that's the problem. We're not just reacting to each other anymore. We're reacting to caricatures of each other, drawn by people who profit off our outrage. So, if we want real connection again, maybe we have to start with a more honest look at what we've been told and what we actually know to be true. Dating apps didn't just change how we meet. They changed how we see each other. What was supposed to connect us has, in many ways, turned love into a marketplace and people into profiles. Dating apps promised to bring people together. In many ways, they did. They expanded circles, introduced matches across cities, lifestyles, and age groups that would never have met otherwise. But the same design features that made them convenient have also reshaped how men and women relate to each other. And not always for the better. First, abundance changes behaviour. When a person has hundreds of faces at their fingertips, the mind starts treating human connection like shopping. People become profiles. Instead of nurturing one promising conversation, it's easy to keep scrolling, convinced that someone better might be just a swipe away. This can devalue commitment and breed a culture of disposability, not because people are cruel, but because the platform trains us to always be looking for the next option. Second, incentives tilt toward attention, not authenticity. Apps reward witty banter, perfect photos, and fast chemistry over patience, vulnerability, or compatibility that unfolds slowly. Both men and women feel pressure to perform, to stand out in a sea of sameness, and often burn out in the process. Third, gender dynamics often become distorted. Research shows that dating apps amplify existing imbalances. A small percentage of men get a large percentage of likes, while many get very few. Women, meanwhile, get overwhelmed by quantity, much of it low quality or even predatory. These mismatched experiences can create frustration, suspicion, and cynicism on both sides, feeding the narrative that the other side isn't serious, isn't kind, or is just playing games. And finally, the illusion of endless choice can undermine real intimacy. When people fear missing out on someone better, they hesitate to invest in the person in front of them. They ghost instead of communicating. They hover in situationships instead of building trust. Over time, this erodes goodwill between men and women, replacing curiosity with defensiveness, replacing patience with paranoia. Dating apps didn't invent insecurity, objectification, or commitment issues. Those have always existed. But they did amplify them, accelerate them, and make the whole experience feel transactional, even when the intentions were sincere. For relationships to thrive in the age of apps, both men and women have to push back and treat people like people, not profiles, to slow down, to choose presence over possibility, because without that, technology that was meant to connect us ends up quietly pulling us apart. I don't think we're worse at love. I think we're just more tangled in expectations, assumptions, and a culture that sells us both perfection and fear. Love, for most of human history, was simple. Not always easy, but simple. You met someone in your community, got to know them slowly, and made it work, or didn't. But now love is a labyrinth. Men feel pressure to impress, perform, pursue. Women feel pressure to filter, anticipate, and still not seem needy. But maybe love hasn't gotten worse. Maybe we're just more distracted, more defensive, more performative than ever. So how do we reconnect? We start by tuning out the noise and tuning into each other. We ask instead of assume. We listen to lived experience, not just loud opinions. We stop debating who has it worse, men or women, and start building something better. Connection doesn't require agreement. It requires humility, curiosity, and friendship. A willingness to see the whole person, not just the headline version. Maybe the real enemy isn't men or women. Maybe it's the story we've been sold, that we're on opposite sides. Because when we turn off the script and speak from the heart, we're not opponents. We're just people trying to be seen. We need to be friends again. We need to meet in person again. So tell me, how do you feel about online dating or dating in general? Can we bridge the gender divide when it comes to the relationships that are created from these connections? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching The Woman Philosopher.